मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। आज आप आजकल देख रहे हैं काफ़ी स्टूडेंट्स यूएस जाना चाहते हैं। यूएस विचकार काफ़ी सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज, देयर आर मोर देन 4000 यूनिवर्सिटीज इन यूएस। काफ़ी बार अपन क्लियर नहीं होता उत्थे की पढ़ना है, किस तरह अपन एडमिशन लेनी है, क्या स्कॉलरशिप अपन मिल सकती है। उसे चीज़ लैके वी हैव विद अस मिस्टर पैट्रिक। ही इज द डायरेक्टर ऑफ इंटरनेशनल एनरोलमेंट एट ड्रेक यूनिवर्सिटी, which is one of the top ranked universities in Midwest. So today we will be talking about what kind of fantastic opportunity that students have in Drake, why should students go to Drake University, and so that this will really help us to know what kind of opportunities that students can get in this place. So we'll start today's session with Patrick. Patrick, first question that comes to mind, I would say that comes to mind a lot of North Indian students is why should a student should go to Drake University?
Oh.
I don't think it's a very popular name in North India.
Okay, well, it is popular in the United States, but we are just starting to get some brand awareness here in India. We're trying very hard. So, why come to Drake? There are a lot of great reasons. We have some fantastic programs. Some of our programs, a couple of them specifically, are among the best in the United States. One of them is one of the best in the world. Internships we're basically the best market in the country for internships. Our students are doing 3, 4, sometimes 5 internships by the time they graduate. There are many reasons. We do things a lot differently than most universities in the US, and I can get into some of that as well. But yeah, a lot of reasons.
You give a lot of information. Let's break it down. You said there are some of the top programs which are some of the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give a brief list, some of the top programs in Drake University which students can really look forward to going there?
Sure. Okay. So we have over 100 undergraduate programs. So we have a lot of programs to choose from. We have 7 different colleges and schools: College of Arts and Sciences, School of Journalism, Mass Communication, College of Business. So we have many to choose from. All accredited, all very strong. But some that we're really super strong at are journalism and magazine media. So one of the best in the United States. There's Pacesetter Awards or Pacemaker Awards in the United States, which are competitions for journalism students. And Drake University has won more Pacemaker Awards than any other university. And we've got the top magazine this year, a student developed magazine. And it's been the #1 for 14 of the last 17 years. So extremely strong in journalism and media production. Pharmacy, equally strong. We're one of the best in the United States, recognized as such. There's a Future Pharmacist Award. Again, it's competitive. Drake has won more Future Pharmacist Awards than any other university in the country, and it's not even close. We've won way more. Other stuff I could tell you about pharmacy, but then there's the actuarial science. We're actually one of the best actuarial science programs, not in the United States, but in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a very strong, recognized as such, very strong in actuarial science.
Can you talk briefly about the business program? I've heard a lot about the business program also.
Sure, yeah. So in actuarial science, unlike most universities that have an actuarial science program where actuarial science is in their math department, at Drake, actuarial science is in our College of Business.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we've got a lot of very strong programs in the College of Business, largely because of Des Moines, and I'll get into that in a little bit. I imagine you're going to ask me about Des Moines, but in the College of Business, we have accounting, very strong accounting program. We were recently number 17 in the nation in terms of the pass rate on the CPA exam. Marketing, we were recently highlighted nationally by the Today Show as being one of the top 5 undergraduate marketing programs in the United States in terms of starting salaries. Management, we've got entrepreneurship as a minor. We've got information systems. We have data analytics. We actually have 2 data analytics majors. One of them is in our math and science. It's more about the numbers crunching. And then the other one is in our College of Business. It's applying data analytics to a business setting. So we've got a lot of very strong programs in our our Zimpleman College of Business.
So we have got great business programs. Can you tell me about STEM programs? I think a lot of Indian students want to get into STEM, the AI kind of a thing these days.
Sure.
can talk briefly about that as well.
Okay, yeah, we have a number, I think we have about 15 STEM programs. You mentioned AI by name, so I want to tell you that Drake University actually has the very first undergraduate artificial intelligence program in the country. We were the first one to have one, and that was about 4 years ago that we created that program. So there might be a few now, but we were the first. Okay. Other STEM programs we have are actuarial science is STEM, biochemistry, cell and molecular biology is STEM, data analytics is STEM. I can't remember, I'm drawing a blank on some of the others, but information systems is STEM, multimedia journalism is STEM. So we've got a number of STEM. We get computer science, we have computer science that's also STEM, so very strong computer science program.
I'm going to start up on the AI part. So if someone wants to work in ChatGPT, I think Drake is the university to go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, a lot of students, the vast majority of students at Drake do at least a double major. Mm-hmm. Many are doing 3 majors. Some are even doing 4 majors and are still graduating in 4 years or less at the same cost. It's very difficult. It's almost impossible to do it anywhere else. But because of the way we structure our curriculum, students can do that and routinely do that at Drake. Now, the reason I bring that up now is because for computer science, when a student, most of our computer science students, when they select their second major, it's going to be either data analytics, because everything today is about data, right, or artificial intelligence.
Right. Right. We talk a lot about Drake. I've heard it started somewhere in 1870.
Yeah, 1881 was when we were founded, so we're not new. We've been around a long time.
Can you briefly about the history of Drake? It's like more than 100-year-old, I would say 140-year-old university.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so we started, in fact, you can see that's the very first building on our campus. It's called Old Main, and Sir Francis Drake, that's where the name comes from. It's not from the rapper, Drake the rapper. Sir Francis Drake is the one who founded the university on campus back in 1881, and we've been for decades. We've been one of the top private universities in the Midwest. Yeah.
So it's a fantastic university. So student wants to come to Drake University. What's the kind of place like? What's the kind of city that Des Moines? Job opportunities, internships, and
excellent question, and I love to talk about Des Moines. Des Moines is an amazing city. Okay, so it's a medium-sized city. It's not a huge city like New York City or Chicago. The metro area has only about 800,000 people. But it's a city that I like to describe as a city that punches well above its weight class. In other words, it's like a middleweight, but it punches like a heavyweight. So what do I mean by that? First of all, Des Moines is the #1 per capita financial center in the United States. So there are a lot of big banks there. Des Moines is the #2 per capita insurance center in the world, behind London, England. Okay. So it's the #1 in the United States as well. So a lot of big insurance companies are in Des Moines. Des Moines is home to the world's largest magazine publishing company, Meredith, and in fact we have the Meredith building on our campus. Des Moines is home to the World Food Prize Foundation. It's like the Nobel Prize but for agriculture and for food innovation. Des Moines has 5 major hospitals. Des Moines has 13 school districts. Des Moines has a number of Fortune 500 companies. Now, the reason I'm mentioning all this is because these are all internship opportunities. There are only 2 small universities in Des Moines. Drake with under 3,000 undergraduate students. The other one has under 1,000 students. So for a city with all those banks and financial, insurance and everything, all that stuff, there are fewer than 4,000 students. So our students are routinely doing 3, 4, sometimes even 5 internships by the time they graduate. And in Des Moines, they're virtually always paid. So it's a great city for opportunities, but it's also a fun city. So Des Moines has the 2nd largest farmers market in the country. So if you like outdoor markets, it's a great place to be. Des Moines is a festival city. So for 6 months throughout the year, there's at least one festival going on every single weekend downtown. Sometimes there are 2 or 3 going on at the same time. Major festivals. Des Moines is it was ranked one of the top places to reemerge successfully out of the pandemic. It's the number 6 ranked city in terms of pedestrian safety. It's the number 2 ranked safest city in the United States, according to the U.S. News and World Report, based on crime statistics. So lots.
Coming to that point,
Yeah.
students, undergrad students especially, when they come into US, they are around 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Parents have this kind of anxiety. It's in the young kids.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
as a safety point of view, how safe is the city? And what's the kind of cost of living? So when kids have to go there, parents have that kind of fear in terms of
Yeah.
new place, new country.
Okay, yeah, no, and those are very legitimate worries for parents. So I already mentioned safety, very safe city, very safe to walk around in. Cost of living, it's in the Midwest, so it's going to be low. And so, for example, room and board on campus is priced at roughly $12,500 a year. Which is very low, and in some very nice dormitories too. So, yeah.
So the students have the option of staying in dormitories and university hostels.
Yeah. So students will be required, and this should make parents happy. Their first 2 years out of high school, they'll be required to live on campus. Then their third year, they have the option of either remaining on campus or moving off campus. Now, the reason we do this is because we don't want to give students too much freedom after leaving high school, where they're on the other side of the world and suddenly the parents aren't around and they can go out and party and everything. So we want to ease them into their freedom. We don't want them to just go from living at home to living on their own. So we do require them to live on campus for the first couple of years out of high school. Now, if a student does a gap year, which is fairly common, if a student does a gap year and then comes to Drake, well, then it's only 1 year that they have to live
Well, I think
on campus.
it's a good transition, especially for students from India coming from high school. It's a good transition to have at least 1 year,
Yeah.
1 year in a safer environment,
Exactly.
and then they can come down with live outside.
Yeah.
You said from cost of living perspective, it's relatively affordable.
Yeah, Iowa is very affordable compared to the rest of the country.
The admission requirements.
The admission requirements. Okay, so first of all, we are test optional. So we do not require the SAT or the ACT, but we will gladly accept them if a student has taken the scores and they feel they've done well on it. Then we'll accept them. The students can submit them, and we will review them.
But it is not required.
It's not required.
So SATs and ACTs are not required for admission.
Not required.
Okay.
No. So because of this, if a student sends us their SAT or the ACT, and they didn't do very well, we will ignore it. Okay, because it's not required.
Right.
So it can never hurt a student. Now, this is for international. This is how we treat international. The domestic might do things different, but this is how we do things internationally. It'll never hurt a student. It can only help a student. Okay. Similar to recommendations, letter of recommendations. They're highly encouraged, but they're not required. They're particularly useful and beneficial for students who are borderline. They're not quite, we don't know whether we should admit them or not. We'll take a look at their letter of recommendation. If it's glowing, that could make the difference and get them in. But we are going to require so typically it's transcripts for the last 3 years. Now, for students from India, we're going to look at their grade, their 12 and their 10. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of GPA or percentages, any ballpark figures?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll convert their score for the 2 exams to a U.S. Scale on a 4.0 scale, and what we really like to see is a 3.0 or better. Okay. Which is about a what? 70% roughly. That doesn't mean that we won't admit lower, but it means that it's going to go to a separate review, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to see what it was that brought their GPA down, and whether those subjects that brought down their GPA are related to the major that they want to study. And if they're not, we'll be like, well, we'll give them a chance, you know. But if they want to study chemistry, and their chemistry scores are what brought them down, we probably would not admit that student.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah.
Can you tell about English proficiency test that they require? Scores that they require with IELTS or TOEFL or PTE?
Yeah, so we'll accept IELTS 6.0 or better, TOEFL 71 or better. The Duolingo English test is going to be a 105 or better. PTE is Pearson Test of English is going to be 48 or better. Now, if a student has not taken those exams, I imagine yours will have taken them all, but just for information purposes, if they don't, we will accept the SAT English score or the ACT English score.
Okay. So in case the students have not given the test and they appear by SAT, they don't need to appear for any of the English proficiency tests.
Right. Yeah.
But, I think the scores are very easy to achieve. With a 6.0 in IELTS or a 48 in PT,
right?
And that's very achievable.
Yeah.
Great. So just to summarize, so what we have is a fantastic university with a fee structure around $14,000 and with an admission requirement of around 70%. I think it's a very achievable kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And what are the intakes that are available now? Which intakes?
Oh, okay. So we admit for the spring and the fall. Now, our largest intake is going to be in the fall. That's when most of the students are going to come. Typically, when a student applies for the spring, it's because they were denied the visa, for example, and then we defer them. We offer them one free deferral, and then after that, if they are denied the visa again, then we would require them to apply again.
So at this point in time, students can apply for the fall 25 intake, September 25.
We're still admitting students for the spring, but you know, most of our students that we're admitting right now, and we started admitting in August 1st, are applying for the fall 2025 intake. Yeah.
But the spring intake is still open.
Spring 2025 is still open.
So any of you who are reading this and you want to apply, time is still there. You can apply with packages with us, and we are one of the authorized partners for Break University. And if you want to apply for these applications, contact us on the below numbers, and we can guide you on the entire admission process for Jan intake and Spring 25 intake and Fall 25 intake as well. It was great hearing from you, Patrick.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Same here. Thank you.